smashed my face off an outdoor pull-up bar the other day, and it still hurts.
Did you get fucking high and decide to cut your beard again? You idiot.
If you're cool with it, we got a couple fan questions.
Yeah.
So if you're cool with answering some, this one is from Cherry Cheetah. Shout out to the Cheetah Press. She asked if you've read any good books this year. Are you a book guy?
If I'm being really honest, I just turned into a semi-book guy. So.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really funny because you guys can get the video for this podcast. It's gonna be me, and then it's like a big bookshelf behind me and stuff, and it's filled with books.
Okay.
But I'm using all of those for sound diffusion at the moment. My real bookshelf is very small, and it's only got a couple of books in it.
That's the same thing for me. You want to put all the books on display to look smart.
Yeah.
But I actually read like 10.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I'd say like I'm not enough of a book guy to have like a really fantastic opinion on books. I'm more like at this point I'm still like the best book I ever read is the last book I ever read kind of guy. And but the things I've been checking out have been like I just ordered a book off Amazon about the divided brain theory and like essentially like neurology and how like it's possible that we have two different streams of consciousness, one within each of our respective hemispheres. So I'm like, that seems like a really interesting case. Let's hear what this guy has to say about it. But
it sounds like it might ruin my life.
It's possible. It could be totally one of those books. But like, the thing I'm really attracted to is like, to me, that's a potential great area to look at lyrical content, because that's kind of like one of the things we kind of like tread along lyrically speaking is like this idea, like it's like this idea of like, where is it that you naturally drive and find your philosophy in this day and age, and like what is it that we think about today's modern way of thinking that might be missing something. And a lot of people express a feeling like that, like, and everyone has their own different way of describing it, but you know, we're kind of just starting to think that it might have something to do with the brain, and obviously it does, because that's the only thing that anyone is using to perceive any of this stuff. But I'm mostly interested in hearing what this guy's got to say about how different parts of your brain hear music, and how it recognizes music and classifies music, because from what I've heard, it's like both sides of your brain have very different ways of listening to music and understanding music. So that would be really interesting to kind of like to understand, because that might be an explanation or part of an explanation as to why, you know, people have certain tastes that lean in certain directions, and why people think certain things about music. And it's just be a cool thing to know more about, because I like that idea, you know. But I'm not a book reader. To answer the question.
Dude, we gotta take some peyote together sometime. God damn.
Yeah, you gotta come out for one of our dinner parties.
I'm down, dude. I will come fucking... I'm down. We'll fucking call a dentist. You know what I mean? Fucking Beatles style.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Fuck yeah. I'm in.
Dude, I think it's awesome that you go like, I'm not a book guy, but I did just buy this book about how we might have two streams of consciousness.
Yeah, about human consciousness and urology. That's crazy, man.
Well, I mean, the reason I'm saying I'm not a book guy is because this is literally the second book I've ever bought, like new.
Right.
All the other books I ever bought were from Value Village, and honestly, I just mostly bought them because it's something that I would like to read at some point, because I saw the cover. I'm like, oh, like Aristotle, like the complete works. This looks dope. Like at some point I would like to scan through this at some point in my life to like just see what's going on here, because this seems like ancient knowledge. But
lots of old fucking poetry books, just so I can steal a line or two every now and again. It's like, oh, this looks old. It's probably good.
Yeah.
yeah. Until someone tries to erase it because it's bad. It's bad. It's the past.
Okay. Who's this one? Oh man, I'm gonna mess up this person's at. I'm really sorry. I'm just gonna put it up, because if I say it, it's gonna be bad. So it's right here. But we actually kind of talked about this, but we never really got into it. So with the DIY approach, would you consider mixing and producing music for other artists? So you kind of mentioned that you do that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, I've been doing. I haven't necessarily gone full throttle into like, advertising services to mix and produce other bands, but I have been working a lot on our band, and as a consequence of that, like I have a couple of friends who are in their own bands, and I'm gonna look at doing some recording with them, and so like it's definitely already happening, and I'm also doing some stuff with like Be Like Brett, who's like a local Ottawa rapper, like super homie of ours. So I'm just like kind of like broadening my areas of knowledge to just work on as many projects as I can, while also having the opportunity to do a bunch of production for the new Clio stuff is also really gonna contribute well to whatever portfolio I get to put together after everything's said and done. But I definitely like, that's the one thing I love doing, is working on music, and even more than that would be to work on other people's music who are people who would like to have their music worked on by me, because at this stage, that's the only reason somebody would have me mix their project, is because they're really interested in what I would have to offer. So now is the time, now's the time. So I'm doing projects here and there for some bands in the UK who are going to send me some DIY stems, and like it's really just about like, getting things put together and being like, what happens when I apply all of the knowledge that I apply to my own band to somebody else's band? Does that result in a product that they're going to like? And because it's not just about making it sound like Zig mentality, it's really about making it sound how that band would envision themselves sounding through the lens of the sound that we crafted through Zig mentality. So I'm definitely gonna start doing some more production work with other bands, and hopefully I'll be able to do that out of the studio, and I won't be so busy working on trying to design a 360 live streaming experience or something like that.
We got one more here, and then I have one last question for you. So, Retronaut Queen asked, I guess this is kind of outside of music even. So, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be in a creative profession? So I guess this isn't even like music necessarily related. Yeah. Could go.
That's a great question, because that would pretty much, to me, that would come down to creative people, because there are people who are like creative thinkers, or a particular breed. There's a small amount of people in our society that are inherently creative thinkers. But my advice would be experiment 3 times, because if you're truly creative and you're working on something creative, then that means that when you spend the time to experiment and you invest yourself into experimenting, then you will be doing that experimenting from the perspective of somebody who's very creative, and that's how experimentations lead to really fantastic products. Then it becomes effortless for you to make that available for people, because that's what your creativity is creating, and that's what your creativity loves creating. And that would bring me to the next piece of advice that I have for people who are looking to adopt their creativity would be, don't get caught up in thinking that you have to paint your creativity as being something that it's not. And the easiest way to do that is to just be honest about your creativity. That's what we push with New Rock Mafia. It's all about creating an honest product. And I think more and more nowadays, people are more and more informed. They're more and more intelligent. They can smell bullshit easier, and they know when they're being marketed to, and they know when they're being lied to. So just be honest and be fucking creative and be experimental. And I think that a combination of those things makes it very easy to be creative and to develop a career that is along that creative path, because there's nothing more creative than finding a way to live off your creativity.
You're inspiring me today.
I know,
man.
I'm letting it sink in. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything,
man.
though. None of that means anything. None of that is credible in any way, shape, or form. That's just
Don't throw it away like that. You can't fucking rope me in like that and just be like, oh, it's bullshit.
it's opinion.
That's fucking horse shit,
That's
man.
opinion, bro.
Can't just fucking can't lift me up like that and then just fucking let go. God damn.
No, dude, I'm pushing an ideology right now. I need to let you know that I'm pushing an
Church of
ideology,
Zig, bro.
I don't want to push an ideology and then be like, oh yeah, no, that's reality. It's not an ideology. Like that's an important message too. That's an important message. Don't be consumed by an ideology. You know, be consumed by your creativity. It's much nicer that way.